Hello YouTube, this is Morgan, Airspeed Prime here with my next Avatar news update video. Not too much stuff to discuss this time around. The main focus of this video is going to be on the fact that we have an upcoming release, merchandise release for Avatar. And that is on this upcoming Wednesday, August the 12th, is going to be the release date for the Avatar The Last Airbender poster collection in comic book stores. This book is going to retail for $24.99. Here's the cover. And the only other details you really need to know is that it's basically a book with just 20 posters in it. That's what this book is. It's not going to have any really writing, explanation, stuff like that. It's literally just the 20 posters. And the idea of this book obviously is that you can either have it be this kind of art book type thing and just leave the posters in the book, or if you want to, the book has a kind of built-in thing where you can easily take whatever posters you want out of it and actually use them as posters, put them in frames, put them on your wall, whatever. So it's going to be a pretty interesting book. It's the first one we've got for Avatar. I assume eventually they'll do another one for Korra, but this is our first one, and it's definitely pretty interesting. I will be getting this book on Wednesday, hopefully, assuming my comic book store has it, and when I do, I will be doing a review on my channel to show it off and stuff like that. So just keep an eye out for that next week, because I'm pretty excited for the book, even though I personally would disagree with some of the poster choices in the book, which I'll get into just now. So yeah, the only thing you guys need to know is that this Wednesday is the comic book store release day for the book, so you'll only be able to get a hold of this book on Wednesday at a comic store. If you've ordered this, pre-ordered it online, Amazon apparently aren't shipping this out until August 27th, but I think they'll probably do it a little bit earlier than that, but not August 12th early. But just be aware of that. You'll probably get it cheaper on Amazon or something like that, but you'll get it earlier from a comic book store. The other thing to mention is the back cover of this book, which we have an image of, which basically shows off all 20 pieces of art that are going to be in this book. So you can see that image here. So this is where some of my problem comes in that it's been confirmed to us that Mike and Brian specifically were the ones who chose the 20 posters to put in this book. And you can really tell that they chose it. It was the creators of the show that chose this, and they kind of chose this with their personal tastes in mind, rather than what would make a good poster for the fans. I think most fans, even just the people behind the editing of this book, would have chosen different posters than Mike and Brian did. This definitely to me seems like a case of they're so into it and they made such a personal kind of product for themselves that it doesn't, not every single bit of it appeals to fans. I like all of the pieces of art, but more than half of these are just scenery concept art images. It's really cool that there's an image that is just the kind of concept, kind of background image of Firelord Ozai's throne room, but without Firelord Ozai on screen, without all the stuff that makes that a kind of living place in the Avatar world. It is just a background image, which is cool for an art book, but in terms of a poster to represent that I'm an Avatar fan, not so much. So it's one of those things where I don't think that is a good poster choice. Stuff like I suppose the Wan Shi Tong area scenery background, that's good because that is a very clear and noticeable area as being from Avatar because it's such a unique location, whereas Ozai's throne room is just kind of without the Avatar stuff in there, it's kind of just standard kind of Asian inspired throne room style thing. And that's a lot of my problem with some of these posters. There's not a lot of characters in this book for being a book all about the posters from a show that its best thing about the show is its characters. I don't think Toph is on any of these posters, which is really bad. There's Katara's on some, Aang's on some, Sokka, so on, but none with some of our other important characters, and I find that really kind of odd and kind of I hope you're doing a volume 2 poster book, because there's so many characters not here, and just the fact that it isn't so character focused, I think, is a big problem. Because in my mind, like when I go into stores and see posters for stuff, especially like movie stuff, it's all about the characters. Like they never release like a Marvel poster where it's just like the background scenery of some place, really. No, they'd have the characters in it, and that's why I don't get why so much of this book is scenery images. It's cool to have, and maybe I'll get a better appreciation for those pieces of art when I get the book in person. But to me, I would never put up most of those posters just because, like, with the ones with characters on them, it would be just clear to say, like, hey, like, look, that's that character from that show I like. Whereas I put up the one of Fire Lord Ozai's throne room, and it's just like, well, what this is actually the scenery background for the throne room of one of the characters from the show. It's not very clear that it's Avatar, but it is, and that's kind of my problem with this book. To me, that stuff is cool in an art book, but doesn't necessarily make for a good poster. But there are some good posters there. Some of the DVD cover ones are really nice looking. The ones that do have characters on them are very nice. And even some of the more kind of oddball ones, like the Appa poster, which is kind of this in-universe kind of thing, is actually a really nice image. And then there's a Fire Lord Ozai kind of portrait image, which is very nicely done. So, you know, there are a good few that I really like. And as I said, once I get the book in person, maybe I'll have a better appreciation for it. But at the same time, this is going to be the easiest way for Avatar fans to get their hands on posters for the show. Because posters have been really hard to come by. They've always been like convention exclusives, or you have to win this competition to get them. That's the only reason I have the couple of Avatar posters and pieces of art that I have, because I won Coronation. But, you know, this book is good value for money in terms of posters. You get 20 posters for $25. That is really good value. You're paying just over $1 for each poster, whereas you'd probably have to pay twice that just to get one poster on like eBay from one of the conventions or something like that. So this is well worth your time if you really want an Avatar poster. I'll just quickly cover the second piece of news, and that is just that the pre-orders for the Zwire Industries Lin Beifong PVC model kit went online on Zwire's official website. I'll have a link to in the description if you actually want to avail of that pre-order or just look at it. Pre-orders up for $99.99, and there's a little bit of a story saga to this. Initially, when they put it up, it was just ordered directly from Zwire, shipping only open to those in the United States of America. So in every single other international fan left out. A lot of complaints on their Facebook posts all over the place, including myself. And eventually they actually did have a quick reaction to this. The following day they said, you know, we're working with some online retailers to work out an international shipping option. And then I think the following day after that they announced that, okay, Big Bad Toy Store and AnimeBooks.com are going to be stocking this for international fans. So if you want this, you can order it from there. Cool. The problem is that I think both of those places have pretty high international shipping, and it's not massively cost effective for anyone internationally to actually buy these statues. Like, I think someone on one of the Facebook pages posted from Australia. The total, when it came down to it, ordering from one of these places was like $200 Australian, which I think works out to be $150 American. So that's basically $50 shipping for this thing, which, you know, yes, it's going to be a fairly decently big box. It's going to be a little bit heavy, but $50 to ship it seems like really high. Whereas like Americans are going to get, I think it's like 15 shipping or something like that. Ordering straight from Zwire, so it's one of those things where like international fans, like, unless you have a lot of money, it's gonna not be very effective to start a collection of these things. I wasn't really interested in the Lin statue in the first place, purely because I kind of questioned, why is the first one Lin over, say, an Aang or Korra? And so it means that I'm going to be interested in what Zwire do going forward, but not as interested as I would be if these things were cheaper, if the shipping was cheaper to where I'm from. So it's been a little bit of a disappointment seeing what's going to happen here. So the only real thing I'm properly interested about this in terms of actually buying would be when they announce an Aang or a Korra figure, and then when they do that, it really depends on what the pose it is. So if I'm going to have to spend like €150 or something like that to get one of these statues, it has got to be the exact perfect Aang or Korra that I want. And even then, it's gonna be like a hard purchase for me to make because it's so expensive. But I want to, because I would like a kind of really high quality statue of one of my two favorite characters like ever. But for people in America, this works out pretty well. You know, you just order it. You don't have to pay too much in shipping. You get your Lin statue. They haven't said anything about what they're announcing next, but we'll see. I assume they'll probably announce stuff in the future. They said they're shipping all this stuff on August 12th, so we'll probably start to see reports of people getting these over the next couple of weeks, and maybe once they've done with all the shipping on that stuff, they'll announce what their next figure coming out is, because they still haven't revealed what the whole issue is with the coming soon and all the character silhouettes is. But yeah, that's been the news, just 2 pieces of merchandise coming out pretty soon. And I'll just end by saying Avatar Online Podcast episode 114 is going to be recording on Sunday, tomorrow. And we are going to be talking about some of this news that I just mentioned here briefly. But the main focus of the podcast is going to be a discussion topic, which is going to be basically just discussing all of the villains of Avatar and Korra. So we're just going to kind of go through each of them and discuss them in detail. I obviously did last week, I did a video all about Unalaq, so I'll discuss him with some other people, plus I'll discuss some of the other villains as well. So I know all of us are really excited for this discussion. It's a topic that we're really eager to get into, so it should be a very interesting discussion. I think I'll do like what I've been doing the past couple of weeks, where I'll basically cut just that discussion segment of the podcast out and put it up on YouTube for you guys. And because I know you guys really liked my video on Unalaq, so I think I have a lot of interesting things to say about the other villains as well. So it should be definitely worth checking that out tomorrow. But for now, that's been the news video. Thanks for watching, and bye.